Hello and good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to each and every one of you. I hope everyone is doing good and welcome to the day 2 of this Tailwind Bootcamp. Good evening. Do let me know if I'm clearly visible and audible to you guys. Good evening, Patrick. Good evening. I'm good. How are you, POV Universe? Fantastic. Before moving forward, a very quick recap of what we did yesterday. So we first learned about 3 points: the what, why, and how of Tailwind. What is Tailwind? Why are we using Tailwind, and how? In the how, we learned about the Tailwind CDN. We then learned about the Play Tailwind. We also got to know that these two are only for having a quick taste of Tailwind. The actual way we use Tailwind is by installing Tailwind. So we installed Tailwind using the Tailwind CLI. Then we looked at some of the basic utility classes involving margin, padding, display, and flex. Right? Using all those, we built a simple, plain, responsive header. Let me very quickly show you guys. My screen should be visible. If it is not, do let me know. So this is what we built yesterday. A plain and simple header. As you can see, we gave it a shadow. We changed the text color, size, and weight of the heading, applied flex to the whole header and to the menu, applied some spacing in between. When it came to spacing, we saw we can give it in two ways. I first gave it using padding, then someone suggested, so we used SpaceX. And for the spacing on the left and the right hand side, as well as for the responsiveness, we used container. As you can see, the content is shrinking as well as expanding. Right? Oh, yeah, there you go. And the hamburger icon, and we made the hamburger icon hidden on big screen, and we made the menu disappear on the smaller screen. Yes, we are going to build website. Okay, let me show you what we are going to start building today. I think we saw this page yesterday as well. So our ultimate goal is to build something like this. Right? We have already designed the header from this. What I'm going to do today, my goal is to create this product showcase section today. First, I am going to build a single product from this, something like this. With the help of this single product, we will understand things like transform, things like transition. As you can see, when I hover over it, the whole content is zooming, the whole box is zooming in. Raj, on smaller screen, check the inspect element. check whether the class you have applied, it is being strike down or not. Check that and let me know. So first thing, I will be building a standalone product. Then I will be building 3 products side by side, which is something like this. I will be building this first using Flex and then using Grid. And by doing so, I will be explaining responsive utility classes as well. The same responsive utility classes we used for the header and hamburger toggling. So Raj and Shaikh Yasin, the problem in your code most probably is that some other class is overwriting your display none or display block code. Your hidden and flex, the classes, they are being overwritten by some other class. That will be clarified in the footer, in the inspect element only. So go into the inspect element and see what is happening. Okay, let's start with this product. Let's create a new file. Let's call it productcard.html. Basic HTML boilerplate code. I already have the Tailwind installed, so I'll simply just link the output CSS. That's it. All right. So what do we have to build? We have to build something like this. And don't worry, I will be using an actual image instead of this placeholder 300 by 200 image. So that it will even look much better. So I will be using these images only. So why am I building this? The concept that I'm trying to teach with this is of max width. Because it's a single product, so there is no point using Flex or Grid. It's a single product. Using Flex or Grid will be an overkill for this. Lang is language free web. It is the language that what I'm suggesting with this HTML lang en is that the language I will be using is English, nothing else. Liverdhan ready, you can import, you can write the import statement either in app CSS or style CSS. Make sure to import that CSS file in your JSX. That is the important thing. With this single product, the concept that I'm going to elaborate on is of max width, right? So I have applied a class maxWSM. Max, maximum, W is for width. SM, responsive classes, SM means small. What this does, as you can see in the hinting, sorry, maxWSM will make sure that this div does not go beyond 384 pixels or 24 rem. It can have a width smaller than 384, but if the content grows, the maximum it can achieve, the maximum it will flow will be 384 pixels only. Because it's a single div, there is no point in applying Flex or Grid. When there will be 3 or 4 divs, then we will go to Flex or Grid. We are telling the browser that is English. Yes. Well, eventually the HTML file will be executed by the browser. So when FreeWeb says that we are telling the browser about the language, It's not entirely wrong. Max WSM. That is the concept that I wanted you guys to understand. Let me show you what happens with max WSM. After max, I'm applying a border. Border simply says that border width will be 1 pixel and border style will be solid. After border, I'm applying border 2. ठीक है. Let's apply color. Let's apply color. Let's say border gray 300. Now let's go to the browser. Nothing's happening as of now. No border. Let's see what happened. No. Oh, sorry. No width. Okay, so the div is simply actually empty. Empty elements are not shown on the browser. The div is empty. Empty. Fine. Let me add an image. Okay, so we don't have the images. Let me very quickly get the image. So we have the assets folder. Inside the assets folder, we have so many photos. Let's take chair JPG. Okay, right now the image is occupying all of my screen. As you can see. Not good. Not good. Well, let's see what we can do about it. I will keep all of the classes on the div as is. On the image, let me apply a class W full, which will simply say width 100%, nothing else. Okay, so the max WSM is not working. Max width, yes, it should work. Okay. I got the problem. I haven't started Tailwind. Okay, so if you remember, we had a command yesterday. Let me go to Tailwind CSS. Let me go to get started. CLI, not compatibility. I forgot to write this command. You need to change some things. I don't have the SRC folder and my input is named as style. So let me change those. Okay. Let's go back. Ta-da! This is what was missing. Yes. Yes, the CLI command of which I forgot. When we use the CLI command, then now the div is not stretching beyond 384 pixels. Now let me also give some padding and some border radius to this div. P4 will simply apply 16 pixels padding on all the 4 sides. Remember, yesterday we did PX and PY. So PX only gives padding left and right, PY a top bottom. P will give padding on all 4 sides. Very similarly, you can have MX, MY or M, which will provide margin on all the 4 sides. I want padding on all 4 sides. So padding. You can see now there is a gap between the div's border and the image. That is padding. Now not looking good because the borders are not rounded. That is, I have to apply border radius. You can apply border radius by using rounded. Rounded will apply border radius of 4 pixels. If you want it more, you can apply rounded LG, rounded XL, 2XL, 3XL, whatever. Let's apply rounded LG. You can see the borders being rounded. If you want, you can apply even more rounded XL, 2XL, whatever. Let's see it like this. If I apply rounded XL, you will see the borders even more curved. Okay. In the reference, however, you can see the image not covering the entire box. In our case, however, the image is covering the entire box. Along with width on the image, I have to apply height as well. So along with width, let's apply height. Height is applied using H. Now, it's entirely hit and try. How much height do you want? Let's say 128 pixels, H32. If I do that, okay, let's do this. Let me go ahead first. Let me apply height on the whole div. Height on the whole div. If I apply H96, that is height 384. This will apply height 384 pixels. As you can see, the image has overgrown the div. It's a problem for us, right? It's a problem for us. Now, let me now come to the image. Let me apply. Okay, with this, let me tell you about custom attributes in Tailwind, something that Bootstrap still misses. That is, you can see there are so many options with height. 5, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.5, 2.5, so on and so forth. But these apply height in pixels. I want to apply height in percentage. Custom attributes can be applied to all and any class in Tailwind using syntax like this. Now, what I want to do is I only want to apply the image on the 70% height of my whole box. I only want to apply the image onto 70% of my entire box. So what I have given H 70%. It will apply height 70%. Custom attributes. This can be applied in almost all the properties. You can get, you will get the assets folder after this class along with the notes. Don't worry about it. You will get it. Let's now create the bottom section, this heading, this price, and this button. Let me apply an H2, which will say modern chair. On this H2, of course, I need to apply color, I need to apply size, and I need to increase the space. Let me do all that. Text Excel, it will apply the font size, font bold, it will make the font bold. As you can see, you can even do font semi-bold. Font semi-bold does font 600, bold did font weight 700. As you can see, there is a slight difference. Let me apply color as well, text gray. Let's say text gray 700. Everything is good, however, there is not spacing between the image and the heading. Now you can apply it in two ways. You can either apply margin to the margin top to the H2, you can apply margin bottom to the image. Which one to apply? It's entirely up to you. If I were to apply margin bottom, I would say MB4. If I were to apply margin top, I would have said MT2, MT4 here, something like that. Which one to apply? It's entirely up to you. In React, you already have the assets folder. When you are working with vanilla CSS, vanilla HTML, you have to just create the assets folder. It's just a folder, normal folder, nothing else. Now, after the H2, let me build the paragraph, which will have the pricing. It is $129.99. Let me apply some classes on that. Let's say TextGray 500 and MB4. There you go. Let me apply MB2 only. Now let's come to the button, which will say buy now. Now, let me apply margin, padding, width, border, background color, and border radius to the button. This will give it width 100%. Background color. Text color. Font weight. Padding from top and bottom. Padding from left and right. And some border radius. All this, okay, turns out to be this. However, as you can see, the button is going slightly downward, slightly out of the box. For that, let me increase the height of the box from 96. Let's say if we can have 98. Okay, so we don't have 98. 384 na? Okay, let me do custom height again. As you can now see, the height is 420 pixels. This is something, applying custom properties right in the HTML. This is something that is missing in Bootstrap. So Tailwind takes Bootstrap even one step further. Okay, everything is fine. The box looks something like this. Okay, 420 is not cutting it. Let me make it 450. Yeah, now it is looking fine. Everything is fine. Okay, fantastic. What I want now is when I hover over the box should zoom in, the shadow should increase. I want these two things, as you can see. Okay, so I want this effect now. Now for that effect, let me go to the box. You had pseudo classes hover and other classes, pseudo classes in HTML. Well, those pseudo classes can be applied directly in Tailwind also. Let me give you a very simple example. If you wanted to apply hover pseudo class, you can do it like this, hover and colon. Oh, I forgot to apply shadow. Let me apply shadow first. Simple shadow. So you will see very little shadow on the box. But when I hover over the box, I want the shadow to grow. I want the shadow to become bigger. So on hover, I will say shadow 2XL. Please note the order matters. Shadow, this will be applied on page load, and shadow 2XL, this will be applied on hover when mouse is over my box. Let's see what happens. This happens. Can you note? Okay, sir, is there any way to automatically create product card according to the product dimension, simply which can auto adjust with image? Well, Patrick, there is, you have to use flex or grid for that. You have to include properties like aspect ratio. This is a beginner's friendly tutorial. So just to answer your question, yes, it will require some additional properties as well. So I'm not going into those, but just to answer your question, yes, we can. And guys, yes, do try to build this right with me. You can use any image that you require, any image that you have in your PC, not necessarily the same images. All right. So I have the shadow growing bigger when I hover over it. What about the zoom? What about the zoom property? Well, first of all, there is no property by the name zoom. What you are seeing in the reference is transform scale, is the property scale. Let's see if I can do that. So hover shadow is done. I want to apply another property, so I will apply hover again. So when I take the mouse over the box, I want property scale. What scale does? Scale applies transform scale. Now, if you don't know about transform scale, I would recommend going to W3 School or any similar website and reading about transform scale. What I want is, I want scale 100 or scale 105. Scale 105 will simply apply transform scale 1.05. It will apply transform scale 1.05. If I go to the box now, and if I hover over it, yes, the box is zooming, right? There is, however, a fundamental difference in which the box was zooming here and the box zooming here. If you can notice, this is more smooth. Both the zooming, the transform scale, as well as the shadow, both are much smoother here as compared to what I just built, right? Now this is due to the lack of transition. Now I want to apply transition. If you want to apply a 150 class, or if you want to apply a large number of classes, Tailwind has, and if you think that makes your HTML look ugly, Computer Tech Zone, you have an alternative for that suggested by Tailwind itself. It's called @apply. I will talk about it a little later. But yes, if you think that applying too many classes on the HTML makes it look uglier, makes it not look good, you can use the @apply. For now, we don't have any other option, so we will be applying classes on the HTML itself. So yes, as I was saying, fundamental difference in how the product zooms, that is because of the lack of transition. Well, so let's apply transition. You can apply transition with the help of a property called transition only. It will apply. Let me apply, instead of transition, let me say transition all. Now transition all will apply transition property all and timing function as ease. Again, if you don't know transition, haven't used it, please go to W3 School, please go to MDN or any similar website, read about transition. Transition has to have duration as well. So let me say duration 300. That it will say the transition duration will be 300 milliseconds. Now what will happen? Now what will happen? This not so smooth transition will change into something like this. Now the transition is smoother as you saw in the reference. I want to apply the same transition to the button as well. You can see the blue color on the button is a little on the lighter side. If I go to the button, if I apply hover, right now the color is BG Indigo 400. So let me apply BG Indigo 800. What will happen now? When I hover over the button, the 400, Indigo 400 will change into 800. With this example, my focus was on three things: max width, hover property, and transition. Guys, can I get a yes or no if you understood what I displayed or not? Yes, Zahid, what you are saying is correct. Guys, can I get a yes or no in chat? Fantastic. Thank you, Wahid. Thank you, Patrick. However, this is a single module, is a single box, a standalone box. What we ultimately want to build is something like this, right? In order to build this, we have to have three boxes. Let me go ahead and copy this box and make it three, right? Yes, that is what I'm exactly going to do, Imran Khan. Thank you. So as mentioned, let's copy the boxes. Let's copy the code twice and thrice. Okay? So now what do we have? Instead of one, we now have three boxes. By default, because the boxes are div, they are vertical. What do I want? I want the boxes in horizontal display. I can use flex. I can use grid. I will be using both one by one. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, in order to not pollute this file, let me create another file. मैं अभी वर्डप्रेस सीख रहा हूँ. वर्डप्रेस से भी वेब डेवलपमेंट होती है ना? हाँ जी अमित, वर्डप्रेस से वेब डेवलपमेंट होती है. टेलविंड वेब डिजाइन के अंदर आता है. Yes, and we can change the URL of the image. Sure, we can. I will change it. Hari Madhav, please refer to W3 Schools or a similar website to know the difference between padding and margin and transform and translate. Let me go ahead, create a brand new file. Let me call it not product card, but cards, plural. Oops. Let me link the output CSS. Now, yes, MDN docs are best. I agree with you, Agam. If you remember container from yesterday's session, let me apply a container div, right? Let me apply a little bit padding on the left and right hand side, and also some padding on the top and bottom. Okay, let's start the Tailwind. Okay, it's already started. Fantastic. Let's go ahead, see what do we have. Nothing as of now. That is what it should be because the div is empty. But you can see there is padding on the left and right and padding on top and bottom. So good. Let's start. Let me copy the div from the previous file. There you go. I'm removing the max WSM. Please note, I am removing the max WSM now. Right? So what do we have? We have something like this. Not looking good? Fine. It will in a moment. And let me copy and paste it thrice. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And as mentioned, I have to change the images. Let's change the images. Let's change the images in all 3. So okay, so what do we have? Let me go to the browser. So this is what we have. Not looking good at all, right? Not looking good. Well, it's all right. First thing I want is I want these horizontal. I can use flex, I can use grid. First, I will be using flex, then I will be telling you how it is even more simpler, even lesser lines of code using grid. Before that, if you can notice the padding on the left and right hand side, you can see the small gap, right? That is px4 that I applied. I'm also stripping away the scale, the hover scale. We don't need that in here. Oh, okay. On second thoughts, let's keep it. Let's keep it. It will be even better. So what do we have? We have a container div. Inside container, we have 3 divs. However, we have to change the HTML a little bit. Right now, container and inside container, we have 3 divs. So what I will be doing is, inside container, I will be having a div, which will be having flex, and that will have 3 product divs, that is 3 children. Let me have a div called flex. So now our structure looks like this. Container, then flex, and then the 3 product divs. Because I have applied flex, now if I go to the browser, if I hit refresh, ta-da! But I want the 3 divs to be of equal width, right? In order to do that, I have to apply width on each of the divs. We just learnt about custom classes, remember? That is what I am using here. So I am saying 30% width on each of the div, that is W30. 30% of width on each div. Space. When I do that, you can see the 3 divs having equal width. There is no gap in between. There is no gap in between. Why I haven't applied flex on container? Sorry, I forgot your name. Zahid, it was, I believe. Zahid, container has one job to make the code to make the element respond to different screen sizes on small, on medium, on large, and extra large. Container has one job. If I apply flex with container, that job container will not be able to do that job correctly. So no, never mix container with anything else. That is why flex has to be, or even grid has to be a separate div. I removed max WSM because I wanted each div to have same width, not similar, same width. Now, you can see there is no gap between the divs. Well, that can be done with the help of gap, property called gap, which applies flex gap. Okay, let's say gap 8, 32, gap 4. I think we can apply gap 8, right? Gap 8. There you go. One small thing, if you see here, the products are covering the whole screen. My products right now are not. As you can see, my products right now are not covering the whole screen. Let me apply something called MX Auto. MX Auto is a very useful class. We apply it almost on daily basis. MX Auto will take the whole div and put it in the center of the screen. It will take the whole div and put it in the center of the screen. Okay, not working. Let me see what happened. Okay, the div is actually in the center of the screen. We can change the width size. Yes, exactly. So the width 30 can be increased. The width 30% can be increased. Let me see if I can change it to 33. So width 30 can be changed to width 33. Let's see if that works. Ta-da! Now the products are covering the whole screen with equal gap in between. So I'm able to apply this. When I will switch to grid, you will see doing this is even simpler. So then why you applied MX Auto on the container? It's not mix up the main work of container. As you told, container has own work of responsiveness. MX Auto has nothing to do with responsiveness. MX Auto is responsible for the margin or the width. Flex, on the other hand, Zahid, is responsible on how the elements are displayed, whether they are displayed horizontal or whether they are displayed vertical. That is responsiveness. So MX Auto will not conflict with the role of container. No. So if you can see in phone screen, what will happen? Well, right now, this will happen. If we go to phone screen, right now, this will happen. Not looking good, but this is what we have. So of course, we have to work on the responsiveness. I will do that. So this is what we have with Flex. Let me simultaneously show you how to do the same thing with grid and make it even more simpler. Make it even more simpler. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a copy of this container, but applying grid on that one. Let me show you. So I've copied everything. There you go. Instead of the flex on this one, I will be applying grid. So the same 3 divs, right? But instead of the flex, let me apply grid. And yes, gap is a property common between Flex and Grid. So gap 8. Let me go to the browser. Uh-oh. Not working. With Grid, you need to specify another property. Now, if I would very highly recommend, if you haven't worked with Grid before, if you don't know what Grid column, Grid row properties do, I would highly suggest go and read about Grid. So what I'm doing is I'm doing something like this. 1, 2, 3. Grid calls 3. Grid calls 3 will apply grid template column 3, 3, 3. That is, in simple terms, this div will take 3 columns out of the total 12. This will take 3 columns out of the 12. This will take 3 columns out of the 12. If you have worked with Bootstrap before, or if you have worked with responsive design, how Tailwind or Bootstrap work is, let me show you something. I think let's get Bootstrap. Let me go to Bootstrap's website for a minute. If you can read what I have highlighted, both Bootstrap, Tailwind, anyone, not even Bootstrap, Tailwind, Material UI, Shad CN, Skeleton, all of these, they divide your page into 12 equal size columns and they actually play with those columns. This page is responsive because Bootstrap understands to manage the columns. No framework actually manages the content, they manage the columns. Of course, the columns will be invisible. For that, we have to remove the bit. Thank you, Zayed. I know. So I'm talking about this 12 column system. So what I have done when I say grid calls 3, so what we are saying is out of the 12 columns that you have, give 3 columns to this, give 3 columns to this, and give 3 columns to this. So 3 plus 3 plus 3. Oh, well, it is 9. Okay, in that case, because that comes out to be 9, but however, because we have specified a little gap as well. So if I go beyond 3, what could happen is the third column might come at the bottom. I don't want that. If I'm using grid, I have to remove width. I don't need it. If I'm using grid, I don't need the width. Let me remove the width. If I go back, ta-da, lesser lines of code, but the same result. So if I go back, if you are using grid, this is how you make the 3 column layout. If you are using grid, this is how you make the 3 column layout. If you are using flex, first you apply flex, then you apply the width. First you apply flex, then you apply the width. Whichever you choose, you can either choose between flex and grid. Now the main thing. Now coming to the main thing, as someone said, as FreeWeb said, sir, what will happen when I go to the phone screen? And then I went to the phone screen and it did not look good. Even phone screen में तो ये भी अच्छा भी नहीं लगेगा. This also will not look good in the phone screen, as you can see. Not looking good. Now we will include the responsive classes. Let's take a 30 seconds break first. Well, not looking good even with grid. It will when we will use responsive classes. Let me do it first in grid because it's even simpler in grid. So this said display grid, and this said that allot 3 columns to each div out of the 12. On large screen as well as on small screen, the 3 columns will be consistent. Now what is happening is on large screen, the 3 columns are, well, they are looking good. On large screen, 3 column layout is good. On small screen, however, if we still have these 3 horizontal, each having 3 columns, as you can see, it will not look good. On smaller screen, I want them to be vertical again, each covering the whole, each covering the entire width, each covering the entire width. How can I do that? Well, it is very, very, very simple. All I need to do is this. And yes, the order matters. Grid column 3 will be second. What I am writing will come before grid column 3. What I am writing is grid col 1. Grid col 1. After that, please note, now we use this in yesterday's class as well to toggle between the menu and hamburger. So what I have done is now this. Oh, sorry. On screens that are bigger than 768 pixels, on screens that are bigger than 768 pixels, apply grid cols 3. But when you are on a screen which is smaller than 768, that is on a small screen or phones, then have grid cols 1. What will it do? What will grid cols 1 do? Now, each div will cover the entire screen. Let me show you. Ta-da! When the each div covers the entire 100% width, it looks good, doesn't it? But if I go beyond 768, till 768, this is how it will be. If I go beyond, you can also see container in action. Ta-da! This shrinking and expansion, this expansion and shrinking, this is due to container. Zahid, if I had applied flex as along with container na, I would not have achieved this. Yes, if we open in phone, you will see them vertical only, stacked only free web. Yes. So this expansion and condensation, this shrinking, this is due to container. And beyond 768, the vertical stacking, that is due to the grid cols 1. I hope I'm able to get this clear, guys. Give me a yes or no. This is how actually we make responsive design, guys. Of course, if you wanted that from 768 to maybe 500, instead of having one column, one div covering the entire column, if you wanted to, you could have done that as well. If you want to play around even more with this, you can absolutely can. So I have even granularized it. I have now even finer control. Let's see what will happen after this. On large screen, this is how it will be. Now when I go below 768, instead of one, you should see 2 elements, 2 divs If I go below 768, previously we were having a single div. Now you can see we have two, right? The third div, of course, will be downstairs. But yes, if we go below, even when we go below below 640, that is the threshold of SM. If we go below 640, then they will be like this. Ta-da. Guys, give me a yes or no. Did you find it interesting? Did you learn something new? Yes or no? Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. All right. Well, we can do this with Flex as well. There is absolutely no point that there's no, it's not like that we can only do it with Grid. We can do this with Flex too. So let me comment out the Grid thing. Let me again open the one with the Flex. We have to apply the W33 again. We have to apply the W33% again. So if we use that, then Lexing this will do as 2 divs in mobile screen. Soman, please rewrite your question. I'm not able to understand. What do you mean by Lexing? So I've opened up the Flex one again. Flexing. So if we use that, then Flexing this will do the same as 2 divs in mobile screen. Yes, Soman. So this is the Flex one. Of course, right now on the small div, it will not look good. Let me show you. Not looking good right now. Let's make it good. Let's make it presentable, right? On smaller screens. In Flex, you can do the same. Why not? We'll not apply something here. Rather, we will apply that on the divs themselves. So on screens bigger than MD, we have the width as 33%, right? So what I will do is MD 33. On smaller screens, I will have the width as, let's make it 50%. Oops, sorry. On screens even smaller than SM, that is below 640, I want the width as full. Guys, are you understanding this part? This is the most important thing. If you want to do the same, if you want to achieve the same we achieved with Grid, with Flex, this is how you do it. I have to copy it on all the 3 divs. I have to copy it on all the 3 divs. There you go. And there you go. Now let's go. MD means medium. Yes, FreeWeb, MD means medium. Now, let's check. This is large screen, so 3 divs. When I go below 768, let's see what happens. Okay, there should be 2 divs, no? Okay, what happened? With 50% हुआ नहीं. Okay. As you can see, it is not working. Oh, I forgot an important property. As you can see, it is not working. Not working. Well, it's all right. It's all right. Let me tell you what I have written with the width is absolutely fine. This is absolutely fine. This is not wrong. It's not WD, it's MD, Soman. MD stands for medium. See, what I forgot to include is a property called FlexWrap. Is a property called FlexWrap on the parent. If you notice, it was simpler with grid, right? It is a little bit lengthier with flex. Why, if you may ask? Flex is a one directional system while grid works in 2D, that is horizontal and vertical at the same time. So, yes, this is simpler with grid, but many people they are comfortable with flex. So, we will be understanding both. So my point is I have to apply a property called flex wrap with the value wrap. If I do this, I am not changing these things. Let's go flex horizontal. Flex wrap wrap. Flex horizontal is nothing, Soman. Well, it is working. As you can see, it is working, but not as good as it should have been, right? I think we have to reduce the gap a little bit. Okay, with flex it is not working. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me see why. W full, SM this, MD this. What is flex wrap? Okay, you haven't worked with flex before, free web? Okay, not going to answer? No problem. Flex wrap is a property which allows the flex items, that is, items under the flex div, to wrap and go to the next line. Flex wrap is default set to no wrap. Flex wrap की default value होती है no wrap. Flex wrap no wrap does not allow the elements to go to the second line. But because I wanted the third element to go to the next line, and on smaller screen, all the elements to go in their separate lines, that is to go vertical. Flex wrap, no wrap does not allow it. That is only allowed with the help of flex wrap wrap. Because I wanted the elements to be vertical, that is each element in their own row. That is only allowed with the help of flex wrap. That is why flex wrap has to be applied. Okay. Well, with flex, we are not seeing the exact effect that we wanted, which we have already achieved with the grid. The problem is we have to change this 33% to a little bit lower, maybe 31, this 50 to 48 or 47. My point is we have to change this width 33 to maybe a 30%. This width 50 to a 48% for flex to be able to achieve what grid achieved. As you can see, flex is a little bit more of a headache. Let's see if we can achieve this now. On bigger screen, yes. On smaller screens, Still not working. It's 48. Okay, 48 also not working. So we have to do this to even 47 maybe. 47 or 46, let's say. As you can see with grid, it was so much easier, right? Do we use the flex wrap for vertical view? Yes, Imran, because flex is a one directional system. It can either make the elements horizontal or make the elements vertical, not both at the same time, which grid can do very, very easily. That is the major difference between flex and grid. Grid is flex is one dimensional. It can either make the elements horizontal or vertical. We can either reduce the gap or we can reduce the width. So I'm doing it with the width only. Okay, so width 46. Let's see now. There you go. Finally. So the same thing that we applied very easily with grid, with a little bit of tweaking, we can apply the same with flex as well. Is this something that looks interesting, guys? Give me a yes or no. Can I get a yes or no, guys? Finding it interesting? Oh, hi Miraj, you are here today as well. Fantastic to see you, buddy. Yes, there is, because of this 30% Daisy. As I said, with Flex, not looking very good. With Flex, not looking very good. We can make the same with Grid, which I showed you here. This will make it pretty smooth. As you can see, no spaces. Yes, Grid is a better option in this case, Kavi. In the yesterday's class, in that header thing, Flex was a better option, was a simpler option. Here, Grid is a better option, even on bigger screen and even with the responsiveness, as you can see here. Okay, well, we have a little bit of time. Let me tell you something very interesting. Let me apply a background color on the body, right? Which looks something like this. Then let me apply background color white on the three divs, on the three products. That is BG white. Copy paste it to the other three divs, other two divs as well. BG white and BG white. What will happen? This will happen. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Instead of BG rows, let's make this BG rows. Ah, BG white. Let's have this as BG white. The body as white. The body as white. The three divs as a little bit grayish in color. Gray. BG gray, maybe 600. Okay. The BG white will be replaced by BG gray 600. I will tell you what I am doing in a moment. Huh? BG white. अच्छा ये भी change हो गया क्या? Okay. Oh, sorry, white. Oh, this is too dark. Yeah, this is too dark. BG gray 600 को हम change कर देते हैं BG gray 200 maybe. हाँ. Okay. This is looking good, right? Yes, Cian Julian, we can use both grid and flex. If you want, I will integrate that in this example only. Okay, this is fine. I have applied white background color white on the body and BG 300 on the divs, right? Let me BG 200, sorry, BG gray 200. Not black. BG gray 800. So what I have done, I have applied a class called dark, and with that I have applied BG gray 800. Let me go ahead on each div. Let me apply that dark as well. Let me copy this, paste on each and every div. Let me tell you what I am doing. Sure, any background will look good. My idea is to tell you about the dark pseudo class that you can use with Tailwind, which was not available with Bootstrap. So what I have done, I have applied a dark variant of the background color on all the three divs, as well as on the body. And if you note, now the body is not white, it is actually BG gray 800, as you can see. Why? Because my system theme is dark. Let me go ahead into my system, into settings. Let me look for theme. As you can see, it is right now set to dark. If I set it to light, if I go back to the page, not this one, can you see the background colors of body and divs automatically changing? This is the dark theme and light theme built in into Tailwind. That is, it can automatically change colors according to your system settings. If I again go back to dark mode or same as Windows, that does not matter. If I go to dark mode again, you can see it is changed. Yes, I can change the text color as well to light. That will look even better. Okay, let me do that. I can change the text color as well. So right now it is text gray 700. On dark, let me change it to text gray, maybe 50, text gray 50. If I go back, you can now see that the text on dark screen is white, on light screen is black. And respectively, the Background colors have changed as well. If you found this interesting, guys, give me a yes or no in chat. Fantastic, guys. Yes, as someone said, we have to use both flex and grid, right? Together. Hmm. Ah, okay. So what I'm doing is this. What I'm doing is right now you see the heading and the price vertical. I want them horizontal, and the title here and the price at the extreme right. Right? Let me go ahead in the code. So this is the H2 right now, and this is the paragraph. Let me put both of them in a div with a class flex as well as with a class justify between. Let me put the H2 and the paragraph inside that div. Uh, can the cards move in the center while I scroll upwards? I think, Kavi, what you are referring to is position sticky. We will learn about position along with Tailwind in tomorrow's class. So do attend tomorrow's class. Yes, I can do that. That will involve position sticky, which I will tell you about tomorrow. Right? I think someone asked that. Okay, Sian was that who was saying he use grid and flex both. So Sian, I think that should answer your question. Inside grid, we are using flex to achieve this. So you can keep it like this. You can keep it like this. The choice is entirely yours. The choice is entirely yours. Okay, guys, which layout is looking good? Layout 1 or layout 2? Tell me in the chat. Layout 1 is good or layout 2? 1? Okay. Layout 2? Okay. Asmil, if you weren't able to attend the yesterday's session, it is available on YouTube. You can go ahead and watch it. Okay, so majority of people are saying layout 2. Well, Cian Julian, I think you got your answer. This is how we can use both flex and grid or grid and flex. The rule of thumb is grid is used on the parent. Inside that, you can arrange the elements using flex. This is the thumb rule. Overall div, overall parent element is styled using grid. The inside elements are styled using flex. This is the general thumb rule, right? Okay, so I will keep this as a comment out thing, and then I will apply the previous style. So you can have both. There you go. what we'll take a look at in tomorrow's class is how we can style forms. And as someone mentioned, they want this header or something to stick, to become sticky. So we will talk about positions in tomorrow's class, as well as about a directive called apply and a directive called theme. Guys, do attend tomorrow's class. Tomorrow will be Tailwind expert level class. Both these classes, yesterday and today, were Tailwind beginner and intermediate. Tomorrow will be Tailwind advanced. Tailwind, we will be digging deep into Tailwind's configuration. If you have any questions, I will open the session to questions. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have any sort of questions regarding CSS. Okay, let me also change this to white while we are at it. So text gray 700, text gray 500, but for dark, it will be text gray 50 only, the same thing. Text gray 50, let me go to the above divs as well. This will be text gray 50 for dark. Okay, thanks. You're welcome, Imran. Do attend tomorrow's session as well. Please don't miss it. That will be the most interesting session of all these three. Right now, as you can see, it is in white. But if I change the setting, if I change the theme to light, ta-da. I think I should change the border color as well, right? On dark, I'm not finding the border color too attractive. What do you guys say? Should I change the border color? Yes or no? On darker screen, the border could also be a little bit darker. Yes? Okay. No? So right now the border gray 300. On darker screen, the border could be a little bit dark. Okay, so it's border gray 600 na? So let's make border also 600. On darker screen, it will be border gray 600. Copy and paste. Oops. So this is the third div. Let's open the second div. Border gray 300, but on darker screen, it will be 600. On the first div, it will be 600. Yes, yes, yes. Now it is looking even better. If I change the theme now, go back. Yes. Oh, I'm loving it, guys. Aren't you? We have made an actually very good, responsive product cards, right? No, Imran, not looking good. Sir, did you teach about apply? Could you please implement now? Zahid, I think your name was Zahid, right? Yes, we can put shadow. Zahid, not too much time left. If I do use apply now, it will be very much in a jiffy. Let's keep it for tomorrow. Do you have any plans for tomorrow? Do you plan on not attending? Please do attend tomorrow's class as well. I will be talking about apply. I will be talking about @ theme as well. I think on darker screen, the shadow should be a very light one, right? Because right now the shadow is not visible. Can you put some shadows in the div container? Yes, I am doing that. I'm doing that, Soman. Okay, great. Well, why not gray? Why not anything else? Shadow white. Okay, let's try shadow white. No. Interpreter name? Sorry, I did not get the question. Sri Soumya. Okay, does it? Fantastic then. Oh, ज़्यादा हो गया ये तो. Well, you can do the hit and try, guys. I have told you about dark. I have told you about hover. I have also told you about transition. For the shadow color and all, do your own research. Do your hit and try. I will meet you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk about. It's too much. Yes, it's too much. I know. I'm not doing the hit and trial anymore. Tomorrow we will be talking about at the rate apply. Tomorrow we'll be talking about at the rate theme and some other things. Someone is selling vegetable in your zone. Okay. Do you want to buy? Well, that will be all for today, guys. I hope you liked and found the class interesting. If yes, do join tomorrow, same time. Till then, thank you very much. Have a very good night.